seem elated.
What does that mean? I am smitten. It's Rusev Day! Bob Roode.
Weird question. Is Roderick Strong a cruiserweight? Weird question. Is Rockstar Spud a cruiserweight?
That is so profane
Joe?
and rude.
Welcome to the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about the best pro wrestling in the world. My name is Tommy Stryker. Joining me is Taco.
What up?
Joe is here.
What is up?
And we got
Joe
a lot.
is here.
We got a lot to talk about this week. Oh my goodness.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
We got the Royal Rumble with the Women's Royal Rumble, first time ever. Ronda Rousey debuting, sort of. We got the Raw and SmackDown follow-up, the amazing NXT Takeover from over the weekend. We just recorded a podcast earlier today, the three of us, talking about the big New Japan weekend with the New Beginning shows in Sapporo, with Kenny Omega losing the IWGP US title to Jay White, the Switchblade, and getting in a big conflict with the Bullet Club and Cody Rhodes, and oh my god, the reuniting of the Golden Lovers with Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. So we talked about all of that on Strong Honor this week, as well as the big Hiroshi Tanahashi losing the Intercontinental title to Minoru Suzuki, yes, and Clinton Dix, of course. Clinton Dix. But yeah, big weekend from New Japan. Check out Strong Honor if you want to hear more about that. Some great matches. The Young Bucks losing the titles already to Sho and Yo of Roppongi 3K. So we get into all of that on Strong Honor. Plus,
we go deep.
Some Ring of Honor talk. So make sure you check that out over on Strong Honor. Wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, let's jump right into this Women's Royal Rumble, the Ronda Rousey sort of debut coming out and pointing at the sign. Cool, she had Roddy Piper's old leather jacket on, actually given to her by, I believe it was Piper's son. So that was really cool having that out there. What'd you guys think?
Oh, the whole Rumble or Rousey?
Just the Rousey thing. Let's get the Rousey thing out of the way right off the bat.
Oh, I totally dug it. It was a awesome moment. You can tell that she totally embraced, was just the biggest smile on her face. So that was awesome to see. And I guess she actually did fly in from, God, I always want to say Chile, but it wasn't Chile.
Wherever she's doing that movie.
Was doing the movie. I guess she literally just flew in, got backstage, figured out what she was doing 10 minutes before she went out. So it was WWE fashion, but so that's why it was kind of awkward. It definitely was awkward.
Well, it was fun because I got worked because there was the TMZ video that came out a couple of days before the Rumble where she was, basically in the airport getting ready to fly out to do that movie. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. Nothing's official. Nothing is signed.
And then all her and all the crew were tweeting photos and Instagramming whatnot that she was there and filming makeup and everything.
Smart play.
And then she said, she's not going to be back till mid-February or whatever doing this movie. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she makes the appearance, comes out, points at the sign. No follow-up on Raw or SmackDown, even though all the news is that she's going to be full-time with WWE, but she of course had to go back, finish filming, so we're not going to get any real follow-up storyline-wise until she gets done with this movie in mid-February or whatever.
Which is fine.
Yeah, not needed yet. It left a good impact, and I like a lot of people are looking at like it stole Asuka's thunder a little bit, and I don't look at it like that by any means. Like, Asuka's a big name. She's a big deal to me, you, Joe, everyone, that loves wrestling, but, someone who goes to ESPN, they don't fucking know who she is. Like a female Royal Rumble, that's cool. They'd be like, oh, I remember that when I was a kid. But Ronda Rousey, that's a fucking million plus extra eyeballs on her at that moment.
She's a big draw, and I think, I don't agree with the internet screaming that took away from Asuka's moment. I think the whole thing was her winning was a big moment. Ronda Rousey coming out added to the moment. I thought the only thing I didn't like about it is how painfully awkward that the whole thing was. But hey, that's WWE. Unfortunately, I mean that's the thing. As WWE fans, we don't even think twice about it. Oh, it's awkward. That's what WWE does. But that's the thing. Like people talked about how they kind of screwed up Raw 25 because they didn't take an opportunity to do something to hook hook casual fans that were just there because they heard Stone Cold was back, or just, people that in general that maybe watched Raw here and there, but instead of hooking them back, they just kind of put on the same. Yeah, they did this nostalgia stuff with all the past stars and everything, but they didn't do anything to get over the new talent in a way that would make a lapsed fan be like, oh, I'm coming back,
Yeah.
So I think that's where the issue comes. And same thing with this Ronda Rousey thing. I think the idea, and again, what can you do on such short notice? You've got her for a couple of hours, right? She's not going to memorize one of your stupid scripts. So instead of having her say anything, they just have her come out and point at the sign, which is what WWE does. Have people point at the sign.
She needs to do at this point, though. She doesn't need to. She's known for having a mouth for being running her mouth against her opponent. Not holding anything back. Her going out there and doing that to Asuka, that would have stolen her thunder. That would have stolen the moment. But her coming out and just standing face to face and Asuka just smacking her hand out of the way like, who the fuck are you? Like, that was a moment.
Yeah.
So did we get a definite challenge from Asuka on who she is challenging? So we didn't get an answer there either. So I can understand a little bit of why the internet, because there were so many questions there with that finishing scene to the Women's Royal Rumble. Who is Asuka going to challenge? Rousey comes out, points at the side. Who's Rousey going to challenge? Mm-hmm. So we don't have answers to those questions yet, and they could have followed up at least with the Asuka one on Raw.
I like that she's not, though, because they just they did on Raw announce that female elimination chamber that's happening. So
yes.
Why would you throw your bidding in or tell you who you're going to face now when there's 5 different women might end up on the title on Raw, or you have your option on SmackDown. So there's something to play with.
Yeah, certainly the title could change at the elimination chamber. Asuka might be in the elimination chamber, which would be awkward. But
you can only do the undefeated thing for so long without it being kind of boring.
Well, I don't know if it could get
not boring, but it's just this way she doesn't really have to do anything for February the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They got these other women they can concentrate on now. She can take it. She's already in the throne for WrestleMania, so they don't need to worry about her. And if they need to go in this direction, they can. They can put her easily on SmackDown at this point.
But that's what makes the streak interesting to me is you have to throw in those big matches. Excuse me. You have to throw in those big matches. She's got to win an elimination chamber sometimes. She needs those signature wins to keep that streak viable in my mind.
They gave her a nice one on Monday with the match versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
Sasha being nice and aggressive in the match, almost working a little bit heelish, just nice and subtle in the match there. But then Asuka getting the win there in the end. But yeah, a good match with a very competitive, top person. I mean, Sasha Banks had a hell of a run in the Women's Royal Rumble match itself, too, being one of the first 2. And how about my prediction there? Nailed the first nailed 1 and 2 in the women's and the men's. So stay tuned for more great predictions by me. Usually I'm horseshit with predictions, but yeah, once in a while I get it right. Let's talk the Women's Rumble itself. A lot of fun, I thought.
Totally.
I mean, we had the like I said, Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch starting fun because you got one from each brand, and with Sasha Banks almost going the distance, going to way towards the end of the match.
Like how people were saying she was in the Royal Rumble for 57 minutes or whatever, but she was outside of the ring for 54.
Well, at one point I can't remember if it was during the men's or the women's. And this Michael Cole throwing out something like, she's been in this match for 48 minutes, or he's been in this match for 50 minutes, and it was before everyone had come out. And since everybody was coming out at 90-second intervals, the match you'd only be 45 minutes into the match having everybody come out. I think, maybe my math might be wrong there, because technically the first 2 come out right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but either way, if people are still coming out and you're less than, if people are still coming out, you're going to be way less than 50 minutes into it, or whatever. He was announcing a time that was unnatural, that could not be possible at that point, mathematics wise. But we all know how WWE does the math with the the 10th anniversary of the Royal Rumble or whatever it is. Anyway, either way, yeah, fun match. How about Lita with that scary ass moonsault?
Oh man, it was bad.
But thankfully she hit it. it, but it could have been ugly. But yeah, it was cool to see Tori Wilson, Lita, who nobody expected to see Lita. I shouldn't say nobody, but with her retiring due to injury, it was kind of surprising to see her in there. Tori Wilson, who I mentioned, Molly Holly, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Jacqueline.
Michelle McCool looked good too.
I thought most of these ladies looked good, and not looked good in a way of, hey, she looks good. Looked good in an athletic from a standpoint of being in the ring. They looked like they still belonged in there.
Beth Phoenix.
I kind of dogged on Kelly a little bit. She kind of did that Hurricanrana, and it was kind of dead silent at that point. You heard three guys, boo, and then like two other people like, yay. It was like that perfectly summed up that era of the women's division. But it was nice that she actually got to come out and do some more shit. Like, so it was a good moment for that. But
yeah, Kelly wasn't exactly known as a workhorse back in the day.
No.
But a lot of fun. Ember Moon coming out, number 23, selling the shit out of the arm. I loved that.
Well, a lot of people were pissed off at Michelle McCool for getting the most eliminations for the women's side. I'm like, wow, that's good. It's still, it verifies that these the older talent, they were legit. They were badasses. They paved the way for a fucking reason.
Yeah, going back to Ember Moon, I liked her with the getting the one-armed eclipse on Asuka.
Yes.
The face-off between her and Asuka with the backstory there. I liked that.
Yep.
But then Asuka ended up eliminating her. The face-off, you mentioned Beth Phoenix, between Beth Phoenix and Nia Jax. That was really cool.
That was just fun.
So, yeah.
And here's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's a Royal Rumble, but like this was the most fun I had with Nia Jax. Whether she was out of the ring a good portion, but like when she was in the ring, there was something going on all the time.
Yeah, and people dog on the people being out of the ring, selling stuff, and that they do that in the men's Rumble too. I mean,
it's everybody.
That's what they do. Rumble. It's what they do in these things. So I mean, you can only focus on one or two things going on at a time. So that's just the nature of WWE.
I even loved the face-off that I didn't think. Trish and Mickie James. That was so brilliant. Trish Stratus doing the taunting the whole time, just holding up 7 fingers. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that was very good. The Bellas coming out at the end. It was the Bella. It came down to the Bellas, Sasha Banks, and Asuka, of course. And fucking the Bellas eliminating Sasha Banks, who had been in there the entire match, was just so much heat in my world, because to me the Bellas represent, the last, the last of the Divas era or whatever. Yep. Yes, they improved and adapted going forward, but still, that's still kind of there in the back of my head, and that's going to upset a lot of people, because I think there are there's a lot of Bella fans that truly appreciate the steps that they have made to up their game, so to speak. So, but that moment,
too late though.
I thought it was perfect. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that moment of them eliminating Sasha Banks was just
holding up the L's and
oh my god,
typical Bella fashion, which was so good to see.
And then Nikki eliminating Brie, perfect. So,
and Sasha Banks too had a really good interview in the back afterwards.
She
was like, yeah, it was great to be in there. Oh, this is how long you're in there, and blah blah blah. She's like, yeah, I could have won it if it wasn't for those Bellas, just the anger in her voice. So it's like, I'm glad we're seeing that side of Sasha Banks now too.
All right, let's talk the men's Royal Rumble. One thing we didn't mention too, I like that they did both exactly the same 90-second intervals instead of doing 2-minute intervals, which I thought was smart. They've done that in the past, so having these 2 long matches on the show, I thought it was smart to bring it back down to 90-second
I like that.
I think
intervals.
It works better.
Both matches too had like a good amount of people actually in the match.
Yeah, and it was paced well too. So
yes.
I liked all of that. I nailed it again with Finn Balor and Rusev starting the match.
Pissed. That was my winner, man.
And then Finn having being in there for a really long time. That was rather impressive as well. Although again, it was the same thing where those two start, but then like after a few more people come out, those two are outside laying on the ground for a while. So, but that's that's part of the game.
At least like in some of those cases too. I mean, the females did it too, but it was like Baron Corbin flipping the fuck out and taking everyone out. You know? So there was a reason for people to be outside.
We had Andrade Cien Almas with a nice little run in there.
Yeah, man.
Got to talk about that. His big match from NXT here in a little bit. Sami Zayn taking Ty Dillinger's number 10 spot.
I thought that was perfect. I'm just like, I literally could not think of what they were going to do with this, and I'm just like, oh, they're just going to Eric Rowan it. I get it.
Yeah, Kevin Owens and Zayn beat him up, and he gets just takes his spot. I'm coming out now. So that was interesting. Jinder at number 17. Taco's big pick there didn't quite come to fruition.
But like I said, I want one of those oddballs to win this year, and they did.
We did talk about whether or not there would be a memorable Kofi Kingston spot, and we did get one with
Yes,
him
we did.
standing on the pancakes, which was a little bit different, but fun.
And getting springboarded into the ring, though, that was the
cheerleader
spot
style.
there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that spot taking Jinder
sold
out.
it, too. Like, what?
Yes.
I like, too, Andrade eliminating Kofi, too, because, you know, a good elimination for him, but it was nice to see someone use senses of about to throw someone out. Oh, your boys are on that side. I'm just going to turn you around, throw your ass out this way. So yeah, I popped hard for Andrade in that spot.
Had the Hurricane make a big return. That wasn't on any of our predictions list.
No.
Certainly not Batista by any means, but it was fun to see him momentarily.
I wanted him to land that choke slam on John Cena, though.
Cena eliminates him after eliminating Elias, so Cena getting a bit of a comeuppance on Elias there and continuing that little situation there. Adam Cole coming out at number 23, a nice surprise. We got some cool NXT things.
Well, I didn't think about it. I'm just like, God, Philadelphia, that's a big Ring of Honor town. Why not bring out someone like Adam Cole? You're going to get a huge pop for that.
Well, that's why I was thinking Roderick Strong, like I said last week, because they figure test the waters with them, see what kind of pop he gets. But yeah, Adam Cole's in that boat too, and fuck, they popped hard for him.
Rey Mysterio Jr. got a nice pop at 27.
Good too.
Yeah, looked slimmer than he's looked in a few years.
Well, just quicker in the ring. I mean, like, he's fast in the ring, but you've seen the slowdown happen over the years. I think taking that Lucha Underground contract, getting the recordings out of the way, you can just relax, rehab the knee a little bit.
He does that stem cells into his knees.
Oh.
So, no, it actually helps
Like
rejuvenate.
Kobe kinda?
Yeah, it's a big thing with athletes right now. It's like they spin some shit, shoot in the knees, and it heals better. But yeah, he's been doing that, and he says his knees felt better. But his return, his Rumble return on YouTube has like triple the views of Ronda Rousey on Royal Rumble.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Actually, I had people at work coming up to me like, "Did you hear Rey Mysterio came back?" I was like, "Yeah, Ronda Rousey, right?" Like, dude, people love Ray.
It was just smart not to make him number 30.
Right. They made Ziggler number 30, which was...
It was neat.
It was neat, yeah.
It did the job.
I expected him to challenge Bobby Roode for the
glad
pre-show.
they didn't.
Bob Roode, yes. It did not happen, but that was the Mojo Rawley spot challenging Bob Roode.
Bob Roode.
That's great.
It was Ziggler at number 30. Yeah, got the heat, but no follow up from that on SmackDown. He's just mysteriously gone.
Which I'm
again.
not mad at, I guess.
It's kind of fine. Yeah, I mean, who cares, right?
It's fun because it's like, oh shit, no, what is he doing? Like, I love the mystery.
Well, and I like that they even it was kind of late, I thought, for him, but like they gave Goldust the nod to get him tied, I think, for number 2 all time. He's behind Kane for most Rumble appearances.
Oh, sure, yep.
And I think that's a cool thing that Goldust holds so much respect that, again, he's thrown in at number 29 on the frickin' Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was a nice moment there. I liked the final 6 in the match: Cena, Orton, and Rey Mysterio, the old versus the new, Finn, Nakamura, and Roman Reigns. So that was a cool face-off there.
Just plucking everybody's heartstring in one go, too. Like the Ray fans, Cena haters, the Roman haters, the Balor lovers. It's like, God, brilliant there.
Yeah, a lot going on there. The final 4, Reigns and Cena, Nakamura, and Balor. So the top WWE versus top New Japan of old. That was a cool moment. Again, Cena, go ahead.
That reminded me, one thing I really loved about this Rumble is we had Finn Balor, Bullet Club, Club, we had Shinsuke Nakamura, Chaos, and then we had La Sombra, Los Ingobernables, all in the same fucking match.
Yeah, how about that? Very cool. Cena eliminates Balor, boo. Nakamura eliminates Cena, yay. And then, of course, Nakamura getting the win. How about two Japanese people winning the the Royal Rumbles? We got Asuka and Nakamura both winning there. That's pretty.
All these guys are popular. Book them.
So yeah, awesome Royal Rumble.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward.
Super fun.
We did get an answer from Nakamura right away. Get a challenge.
Yeah, we knew.
Getting the dream match that we've all been pining for.
I'm not giving my hopes up yet.
Yeah, that's the thing is anything can change, of course. And again, WrestleMania hasn't really had that, oh my God, what a great match moment in a few years now. I mean, there've been some good matches, but nothing like, wow, that was a great match of the year kind of a thing. So
I hope this whole road to WrestleMania right now that they realize that they just kind of got to let Shinsuke be him and do his thing and, get his charm over his own way. And, the mouth guard's already out of his mouth. He's already talking and kind of, he's speaking a little bit more now.
Knee to the face is what it's all about.
Knee to the face. Knee to the face.
He's also going to beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
That would be pretty awesome. Well, he beat AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10, so there's that. So I guess we'll see what happens from the big rematch. And that was for the Intercontinental title. This is for the big WWE. Well, technically, if you think about it, the Intercontinental title in New Japan is the second championship, kind of like the WWE Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. They'll face off again for the number 2 championship in a different company. So hopefully that'll be good. Let's talk the Universal title match from the Royal Rumble. This was pretty much what I expected it to be. A big clusterfuck,
I fucking loved it,
Bunch of beasts just running into each other.
Lesnar versus Strowman versus Kane for the Universal title. Taco, what did you love about the match?
It was just sheer mayhem out of everyone. What do you expect? That fucking feud that Lesnar and Ambrose had at fucking WrestleMania years ago, this the war I want to see them go in. It was just nonstop fun. It was just a spot fest, and fucking Lesnar throwing that receipt in there for Strowman. It was kind of harsh. I know he's getting a little bit of heat, but these are big boys. That's what they do. You saw perfect. Strowman took it. He stood right the fuck up, and he understood. Shit. He's still a rookie, you guys. It's gonna happen.
I'm sure as soon as Strowman hit Lesnar in the face with a knee, he was probably thinking, "Oh shit!" And then Lesnar gave him the receipt. It's okay, we're good.
They're big boys. It's gonna happen.
Lesnar retains over Kane as expected with the F5. Again, it was just a big mess of a match, and it was entertaining, and it wasn't too long, and it was exactly what
that's what
pretty
you
much
need
everybody
with these
expected.
guys, and that's why Strowman is so fucking over.
Yeah, I mean him screaming, "You didn't beat me" from the ring over and over again.
But it's honestly I feel like these types of matches, for Strowman-wise against Lesnar, that Lesnar's going to have the most respect out of Strowman in the long run out of this because, he's fucking, he's being rough with Lesnar. He's going hard, and Lesnar's that type of dude. It's he wants to answer back, and Strowman's taking it. So, I really think in the long run, he's going to have more respect.
So we did on Monday Night Raw, they announced we're going to do the Elimination Chamber #1 contender to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So we had the qualifying match for some reason, one of the qualifying matches was a last man standing match between Kane and Braun Strowman. And Strowman buried him underneath the announce table stage, which was hollow underneath, which was very, very strange. And they kept showing it, which was why do you keep showing it? He's not under the table part. He's under the hollow part, but nobody... Okay. Anyway, so he gets taken off to the local medical facility, a.k.a. the hospital. I don't know why they can't say hospital, but anyway...
Copyrighted.
So, and they don't do a 10 count. He buries him underneath the stage thing, and it's over. No count. No, we don't need to do the gimmick. Strowman wins. End of story. So we get Strowman in the match. It's weird because, yeah, of course Strowman's going to be in the Elimination Chamber, and we're going to have this match. But why? I mean, I try not to be too bitchy and let some things go. But I mean, can we do the 10 count? Can we acknowledge that there are some rules in existence, please?
In all fairness, he did beat the shit out of Kane before he did that too. So it was just like, dude, you killed him. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm a stickler for the rules. I'm with Tommy on this.
Kurt Angle did say last man standing, you guys.
But they didn't do the 10 count. The 10 count did not happen.
It's not an official match until we get the 10 count in the ring.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the match is still going then.
Exactly, just like Curtis Axel's still in the Rumble.
Okay, I had to dig that one out. All right, back to the Royal Rumble. The other matches on the show opened up with the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match. AJ won, but oh my God, there's controversy. Who'd have thought?
I didn't see this coming.
What about these? What's going on with these SmackDown referees lately?
Jesus Christ.
They can't get a call right to save their lives. It's so odd that they keep putting this heat on the referees here because
especially when like the matches are like back to back.
So the heels have an excuse because the referee made a bad call. With AJ pinning the illegal man in the match, and the follow-up. I mean, they bitched to Shane after the match at the Royal Rumble to no avail. They complained about it to Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, and he says, "You know what? You're right. You deserve another chance. You face each other next week for the #1 contendership." So I did like that because now we're going to get them facing each other. The main event from SmackDown was those two, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Nakamura and AJ Styles. The setup was your typical SmackDown setup, and you're not missing anything if you didn't see it, but I liked AJ going in to ask Shinsuke if we're going to have a little strategy session before this, and Shinsuke's just like, "I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania." And he just says that over and over again. He's like, "You messing with me? Yeah, I'm messing with you."
But I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania.
Right. Knees to the face. So I liked that, and then I liked Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens having the dissension during the tag match where fucking Shinsuke throws Sami Zayn out of the ring when he's the illegal man coming in to try to help Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens is looking for a tag, but Sami's outside of the ring. "What are you doing? How come you're not in the corner?" So they continue to argue throughout the match. Sami Zayn gets fed up with it and leaves him out there to fight for himself and ends up losing, of course.
What was it was kind of fun too because on the mixed match challenge, him and Becky Lynch fought Braun and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah,
and that kind of played off into it a little bit too. Like he was just being obnoxious all night, and fucking Becky Lynch is getting her ass whipped in the middle of the ring, and he's trying to get the crowd to chant "Happy Birthday" to her, sing "Happy Birthday" to her, and everything. And they end up losing the match and everything. And they're talking to him in the back, and he's just so over everything. He's pissed. He's just like, "It's my time. It's my moment. Why does Kevin have to have his shit?" He's just losing his mind about everything.
I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I heard Alexa Bliss hitting Twisted Bliss off the top of Braun's shoulders.
Yeah,
quite impressive.
I'm having so fun with this thing they're doing.
Yeah, I've been liking it so far. Yeah, like I said, I just haven't had a chance yet to watch it yet this week, but I'm looking forward to getting into it. Back to the Royal Rumble, the Usos versus Benjamin and Gable for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. A 2 out of 3 falls match. 2 out of 3 falls. That was supposed to be the crowd chanting along, but I don't think they do. They only do that with one fall for some reason.
Oh, we're starting that.
I like this. The Usos win
two out of sweet falls.
Two consecutive falls. They don't do that often enough. It's nice to just throw it, get a clean sweep once in a while. You don't always have to go the distance in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And again, a long show with too much stuff on it anyway. Might as well just have him get beat when 2 straight falls. So, I liked it. What else? The Rollins and Jason Jordan versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team Championships. They were in a really tough spot. They put them on right after the Men's Royal Rumble. I think if they'd have put these guys on in the undercard before the Men's Rumble and just done the Universal title match between the two Rumbles, I thought that would have been a way better way to do that. That match just died in that spot.
Like I was saying, though, is like out of all the fucking showings we've had with Seth Rollins and The Bar, that was like the weakest performance, like excluding the Jason Jordan factor. It's just, I feel like those guys didn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been the material they gave him. It could have been, the story was all about Jason Jordan not being there for Seth Rollins in the match. And so with that being the focus, don't do much to take away. And again, being in that, that tough, shitty spot where the crowd didn't give a fuck, why put on a great performance that nobody's going to remember anyway? So there's that. Yeah, I thought this should have been the opener, really. I mean, if you think about, AJ defending the world championship in the opening match versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, this match should have opened the show. And then
it was just such a gimmicky match with the technical handicap. I mean, I had no problem with that one technically opening up the show. I wanted it honestly out of the way.
I didn't have a problem with it opening. I just think that this tag match would have been in a better spot opening the show, and it probably,
Well, I tend to disagree.
I just wish we could get a good spot with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles in the same sentence.
What was that? I stepped over you with the sound.
I just wish we could get a good spot with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens in the same sentence. Like, even that little thing they had with the U.S. title was just very lackluster and weak, and I'm glad Sami Zayn's in the main event scene right now, but again, it's like, I expect more out of these guys. They're some of the best.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's move on, and instead of talking Raw and SmackDown, breaking all that down like we usually do, I think we covered the big basics. We don't really have to go back to anything there. If we do, maybe we'll come back to it. But before we get into too much of that, I want to talk about this NXT Takeover. Yeah. But what were you going to say something there, Taco?
No.
All right, let's get into NXT.
I got some chaps the weekend.
NXT.
Chaps! I love chaps! Fucking chaps!
What a week it's been.
It's a fucking party.
So much to talk about.
Chaps. So, yeah. Fucking chaps!
Chaps!
Anyway, a really great NXT Takeover. We just got done watching the follow-up episode of NXT this week. Again, from the same venue, the big arena in Philadelphia. The Wells Fargo Center, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, that place.
Great main event. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. Again, this was pretty damn predictable. Yeah. But just because something's predictable doesn't mean you can't tell a damn good story and have a great match. And that's exactly what happened.
It was a fucking clinic.
Yeah, and probably one of the best matches of the year. And I haven't really been thinking too much about my own star ratings lately, but if
the Tommy New Japan star rating,
my 1 through 5 scale, yeah. But like going back and thinking about Wrestle Kingdom, I didn't really, in my own opinion, I don't really think I put anything at 5 stars. So to me, this was probably like my first 5-star match of the year between these two, between Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas.
They're saying it's WWE's, one of the top matches up there, almost tied with Taker and Michaels. And honestly, I'd say better.
I mean, the crowd was just invested. Everything was magical for this match.
Absolutely. And having Johnny Gargano's family, including, of course, his wife, Candice LeRae, at ringside and in the video package beforehand and all of that, that just added to it. Of course, the looming threat in the back of everybody's mind of Clinton Dix.
What a week it's been.
Whoops.
Tomaso.
So much to talk about.
Tom Ciampa. Yeah, with that looming over everything, that in the back of everybody's head, but not him never getting involved in the match. But it was exactly what we talked about last week. Fucking Zelina getting involved with the skullduggery. Here comes Candice LeRae to even the odds. They battle to the back. Now it's back to a one-on-one. Johnny, he hits the fucking the DDT thing that he does. What do you call it? The slingshot DDT for a near fall, only gets a 2 count with it. And then, Andrade with the double knees into the post on the outside there.
Johnny's face, he sold that so perfectly. He just looked dead in the eyes.
Absolutely. And then him hitting the draping hammerlock DDT for the win. The disappointment in the faces in the crowd with Andrade getting the win there.
Feed on the disappointment.
Yes.
Yeah, between Saturday and Sunday, that's the best Andrade we've seen step foot in that ring in NXT.
And even Andrade, his performance in the Royal Rumble, I thought was very good.
Yeah.
Him being in there for a while, the crowd was
like
into
half hour
him.
or something.
And again, it's a big elimination with Kofi. I mean, it's just a good showing for your NXT champion.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that entrance he had with the mariachi coming out, like the whole show and everything. This was the first time I really felt he was larger than life, under this banner.
Adam Cole versus Aleister Black in an Extreme Rules match. Another very good one here.
Love how long it takes before Aleister is willing to finally use a weapon.
Yeah, he just I don't need this shit. I got kicks and stuff. What do you want me to do? Cole's hand is bleeding early on in the match. Did anybody see how that one happened? I forgot to go back and check that out. But yeah,
I feel like I did. I just don't remember. I think it was.
I remember them bringing it up and showing it again, even during the pay-per-view. But for some reason, I just can't picture it.
I think it was just a ladder or table spot.
But yeah, when he landed backwards, his hand just landed on it, I believe.
Did a super kick into the chair off the second rope through 2 tables. That's the one where he fell, where Black fell back onto the 2 tables.
Fucking that dude has balls, dude. Like, just without thought, just drop like a sack of shit into those tables too. Like, I forgot who we were talking. Was it? No, it might have been Jericho going through, or someone going through tables a couple of weeks ago. They did a quick look back before they. Oh, fucking.
Yeah, it was Jericho.
Brilliant.
Well,
yeah.
then, how about Aleister Black with the fireman's carry slam onto 2 chairs that were back to back? Oh my! It was like
Poor
a
Adam
backbreaker
Cole.
onto chairs. That looked
Yeah.
really rough, but a lot of fun. Aleister Black getting the win, of course, with the Black Mass, and Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era are going to turn their attention to the Sanity feud. It's looking like going forward. Then we got this Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. Talked about Minoru Suzuki versus Hiroshi Tanahashi over on Strong Honor.
Yeah.
But I drew a lot of parallels between these 2 matches. The Tanahashi Suzuki one was a little more brutal, and obviously in New Japan they tend to go a little bit longer. But this kind of had that same vibe where Shayna Baszler is just taking advantage and going for submissions and really locking them in hard, and Ember Moon barely surviving. And of course, a different finish here with the current champion retaining here by getting the leverage pin. But I
should have had to put her whole body down on her, though.
Yeah. But I liked that story that Baszler just came out looking like the dominant performer, looking like she won the match, but then Ember Moon just pulls something out of her ass and gets that leverage pin there.
Well, and it's exactly this is what I predicted. I predicted that Ember Moon would just get the shit kicked out of her. I obviously picked that Shayna would actually win it. I did not see Ember Moon pulling out of her ass, but I also after the match. Fuck you, after the match, her promo, in the sense that she's like, "Do you think that nothing went my way out there? Like,
right.
look who's standing right now talking to you, having an interview. Go look at Ember Moon." And that's the point. Like, that's the bully and the manipulative character. Like, I saw more out of her this week that I've just in that one promo than I've seen in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Shayna Baszler is doing very well in the character department, really. With the promos, just the way she's acting, her facial reactions to just being cocky, and in this match with Ember Moon, she showed I thought she looked like she belonged, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
So
she stepped up, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Cassius Ohno versus the Velveteen Dream.
This was the opener, right?
Yeah, I believe no, Authors of Pain and the Undisputed Era opened the show. This was the second match, but I'm just kind of going backwards here through the card. But very good, hard hitting match again. Velveteen Dream kind of being more and more presented as a baby face. The crowd was definitely behind Velveteen Dream coming up with his Dream Over trunks here. I like the gimmick where Cassius Ohno's the knockout artist, so Velveteen Dream says, "I'm going to knock you out in less than 30 seconds," and so the crowd's counting along early in the match, counting up to 30. Velveteen Dream's got the boxing trunks on.
His whole entrance with the mouth guard on the pillow waiting for him. Again, this guy gets it. He just gets everything. And again, this was a completely different style match than we've seen from him. We've seen him with some hard-hitting matches, but it was just different with Cassius Ohno. These two were just throwing bows.
Yeah, this was a striking match, and different from the match with Alistair, where you had some striking, but also some intense grappling in there as well. So listen to us break down pro wrestling like it's a real sport. That's kind of fun, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, Velveteen Dream getting the win with the Purple Rainmaker after the rolling Death Valley driver. So again, I love that he calls the top rope elbow the Purple Rainmaker. The internet will scream about it. I will sing the praises of it.
I say it changes the minute he goes. They say it the first time on a Raw or SmackDown. If he goes up, it's gonna happen, man.
Too bad.
People whoever owns Prince's name and shit, they'll be all over that.
That's certainly a possibility,
Maybe.
I suppose.
It's too bad it's not like when Okada does the Rainmaker and they do the zoom out when he does the purple Rainmaker. They can just zoom in around his dick. It'd be perfect.
Hold on here, hang on. I gotta dig it out. It fell behind my other thing. Here we go.
That is so profane.
Taco. So, back to NXT.
I think you had that on a hot bun for me.
Well, I do now. I popped something else. Something else popped up on the computer, so I had to get to it. So unfortunately, you do it again, you're gonna get one.
Knee to the face.
Opening match: Authors of Pain versus the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish retain. They roll up counter to the Super Collider. I thought it was a well-worked match. The Undisputed work over Akam's knee. I thought just the way that they went after the legs or whatever of the Undisputed Era, I thought was done well. And then getting kind of the fluky roll up, the most devastating move in professional wrestling, just countering that their finisher and getting the roll up win and then sneaking the fuck out of there like the bitches they are.
Well, it just keeps Authors of Pain strong. I mean, we've said it before, but I mean, there's a good possibility they're going to be going up sooner or later. You want to keep them with momentum from NXT. The people who watch NXT and watch everything, we want to see that momentum transfer. And when we don't, we get Ascension, that kind of stuff. Tyler Breeze, technically, even just any of those people that have been brought up. Ty Dillinger, there's just been nothing for them, and they're not doing anything for themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, the Undisputed Era are heels. It's hard for heels to get good, credible wins in the WWE, and so again, this keeps the Authors of Pain strong, who are on the babyface side of the ledger right now. So a couple other things I wanted to mention from NXT. We got War Machine, Ricochet, and EC3 shots of those guys sitting in the front row. Again, we all knew it was happening. The EC3 thing was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, that was fun.
But it was still cool to see them. We talked about the EC3 a little bit on Strong Honor of all places. But yeah, him asking for his release. And
that reminds me, that's some news we didn't talk about at the start of the show. It was Jeremy Barash.
Well, that was the thing, is I feel like the Rumble is such a huge
big,
story.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the same thing we always do, where we start off with some news stories, because we could talk XFL, we could talk Jeremy Borash, but why bury the lead at this point? We'll just throw that shit in at the end of the show. But let's talk EC3 here. You kind of had the scoop on this one that I hadn't heard. Taco, you talked about it on Strong Honor.
Apparently, he talked to them in the back at Impact and was talking about getting out of his contract, so they set it up to wrap up whatever they had to do so he can, get to NXT, and it sounds like everything worked out. And
Impact being in rebuilding mode and rebuilding the brand, rebuilding the faith of wrestlers. They let him keep his name, which started in Impact.
Yep.
He was supposed to be Dixie Carter's nephew or whatever, which is why he has the name Ethan Carter III. heard. So the fact that he gets to keep that name and go to the Indies and WWE apparently.
Oh God,
well, no compete clause. Obviously, I mean, just went right into it.
Right. Well, and that's
they
have no leverage at Impact. I mean, why? What moron would sign a non-compete contract with Impact or whatever? So
I just had a premonition of Ethan Carter being on like SmackDown and bringing in like Dixie Carter for a GM role or something. Like,
ooh, let's not do that.
You done flapped the wrong jack, sucker!
Keep on sucking.
All right. But yeah, Ethan Carter. It'll be interesting to see what he does, because not like a flashy in-ring guy, but he cuts a fun promo. He's got a good look to him, so we'll see.
But he learned what he could out of the Performance Center and the WWE mentality, and he developed something that sells. That is something now, and he has the opportunity to bring this into the NXT, which it's just. Barash is rumored to be part of that, of NXT, so it's just like the minds that have run NXT is like you're in such a good place to learn shit, and it's just it's good for him.
Well, since you brought up Jeremy Borash, and we're kind of in between topics here, being that we're pretty much done with the NXT talk, I liked.
But it goes with NXT though. If he's going to be part of their shit that they have.
Well, how about the broken Matt Hardy factor as well? Jeremy Borash had a big part in all of that, being the guy doing the filming at the Hardy compound, operating the drone camera and all that. So Jeremy, there's a little bit more to the madness there.
Well, he was
when
doing,
it comes to
like
Jeremy
the dude
Borash.
was doing fucking doing everything, even cleaning the fucking toilets at Impact. It sounds like I'm making that last part up, but
he had a
his
big
hands
role
in every fucking thing in Impact. I didn't realize how much of a big role he had there. So it's good for every single party, and if you can bring that mind over to NXT, that's fucking good.
A couple other NXT notes. I liked the Paul Heyman hype video at the very beginning of the show. That was very well done. I mean, it's Paul Heyman. What do you talking about a Philly show? Of course it was going to be good. And then the follow-up from this week's NXT show, very good as well. Nikki Cross beating Lacey Evans was fun. We had the return of TM61 versus the Ely brothers. TM61 looking good in their return. A little bit of twin magic from the Ely brothers there, but
and again, they're just growing in accessories. They got the jackets first, and then the sunglasses came second. Next week, hats.
And then we had Roderick Strong beating Tyler Bate in the main event in a very good match. Beating him with all the backbreakers.
Every backbreaker.
All the backbreaker. Tyler Bate was on 205 Live this week, losing to TJP, I believe. I didn't see it. Did you? I think you saw it.
Yeah, I did watch. It was actually a good week to watch. They're
got the new GM.
New GM. You look like you're playing something.
Well, I'm getting ready to.
Weird question. Is Rockstar Spud a cruiserweight?
But, he's going to be a good GM role for that shit. Yeah, you got me thrown off now.
Let's try it again here. No, maybe not.
No.
Weird question. Is Rockstar Spud a cruiserweight?
Rockstar Spud's the new GM. He announced there's going to be a 16-man tournament for the cruiserweight title. So going back
leading up to WrestleMania.
Sure, and then so again, a tournament for the cruiserweights, just like the Cruiserweight Classic. I like it. Let's get into it. Tyler.
When does that start?
That started this week.
205. Yeah, it was just two matches this week. It was
Tyler Bate and TJP,
and then Grand Metalik against.
I saw this too.
Alexander.
God, he's Alexander.
Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander.
It works every time.
Another good show, though. It was nice seeing the interaction between the Lucha guys in the back. I don't know if their stable is now, but all the the mass luchadors have a thing going on now.
It's Los Ingobernables.
No. It's Los Ingobernables de Japan.
I just feel bad for Cedric Alexander because this dude keeps showing up, putting on a fucking performance. Last week, him and Mustafa Ali just put on a fucking good fucking wrestling match, and that Enzo shit just fucking threw a chink in the armor. And
Los Ingobernables de
Japan.
When in doubt, always ask Vince Russo.
My botch.
Sorry, Taco. Go ahead.
But yeah, go back and check out 205 this week, especially that main event between TJP and
Tyler
Diggs.
Bate.
Tyler Bate. It was definitely a good.
Well, how about Tyler Bate with two big main events and losing both of them? Losing to Roderick Strong, losing to TJP.
Well, the point of this was
20.
TJP, though, seeing that bad side of him a little bit, getting that fucking handful of trunks to get that pin on Tyler Bate. So, I kind of want to see this a little bit more of the UK guys, going in with the 205 guys. I'm enjoying the 205. It's they put on a good show. It's just, if it said PWG, people would be going ape shit over it.
Well, now that it's not the Enzo show, and there's a tournament, maybe I'll be checking that out a little bit.
I don't know if I'm sure it was just the Philly crowd because it's the Philly crowd, but they were going for nuts for 205. They have fucking 205
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Going.
I'm gonna have to look.
It's just I think they
That's what we always say, Tommy.
I don't want to say blessing in disguise, but the whole Enzo being out is it's a blessing. They're doing a hard reset right now. They got that option. They're gonna be able to bring in some of these names like Roderick Strong and Tyler Bates.
Weird question: is Roderick Strong a cruiserweight?
So he's going to be coming up next week. Do you remember who he's facing? I saw it earlier.
Hideo Itami.
Roderick Strong.
Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami. Okay, so that should be pretty good. So awesome. So that's NXT stuff. There it is. Let's okay. So let's wrap up the show with what we usually start the show with. Then
Change the subject.
Work it out. All about sets and reps.
no, we don't usually start the show with sets and reps.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
Just when we were getting,
Are we doing this now?
yeah, we're doing it now. Just when we were getting used to the segment called "What the fuck is Booker T talking about?" He gets kicked off the announce team, and Jonathan Coachman replaces him. I thought Coach did a pretty good job this week.
Yeah,
He was fine. He didn't
Coach.
He didn't stand out. He didn't add.
It's going to take a couple weeks, of course, get back into the game. Let them have some fun.
I just got annoyed that he kept trying to bring up the fucking Super Bowl, and you can tell Michael Cole kept cutting him off. Like, we're not talking about that. Like, going into this.
Well, speaking of the Super Bowl, here we are. We're three boys from Minneapolis. We're all sports fans of some form or another. Our poor Vikings were defeated by the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl a couple of weeks back now, or a week and a half ago. And we haven't talked sports on this show in quite some time because I fucking hate the Eagles, man. That's a soundbite I should have got.
Yeah, probably should have.
But that's not what this show's about. But it's interesting that where was I going with this? The Super Bowl is coming to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We're not getting WrestleMania. It sounds like they're going to go back to New York next year.
Yeah.
But I was going to tie this in with the XFL. That's what it was. We had the big announcement last week from Alpha Entertainment, Vince McMahon himself, that he's going to bring the XFL back in 2020. They're not going to allow players to kneel or voice any opinions.
It's not a political thing, though. That's going to be a 2-hour show because 3 hours is
Way
too long.
Nobody
Way
can pay
too
attention
long.
to a 3-hour show. Are you kidding me? This is too long. We have to make it shorter. So everything that pro wrestling fans have been upset about, he's going to change for football, but not for us.
I think the 3-hour thing, though, is USA Network and not him.
Well, yeah, the USA Network is paying them a lot of money to have a third hour of Monday Night Raw. So
one thing that stuck out with the XFL, though, that I really do appreciate, I hope they hold their ground on, and he said, like, you will not play if you even have one DUI. They are not tolerating that kind of shit. So I really hope they hold their ground on that.
well, who are you going to get to play for you?
Right.
You're going to get what you're going to get is people that go undrafted out of college, people that aren't good enough to make it to the NFL.
That's all he's going to get anyways.
Right, exactly. So what you got, and it's going to be, I imagine, during the regular.
Maybe Keenum will be ready in that year.
Maybe this will be. They'll be playing during the NFL offseason, I imagine, so not directly competing with the NFL for any kind of
smart move.
ratings exposure. At least that's what they did last time.
Like right after the Super Bowl.
So here's the thing. there's a lot of things going on here with this XFL business. First of all, Vince McMahon is embarrassed that it was an abject failure the first time. Why was it a failure? You can't start off a football game with a 20-minute fucking promo. That's a problem there. You can't have The Rock there. You can't have wrestling announcers doing football stuff. Now, he said that they're not going to have any correlation. No football or no wrestling people involved in football, and vice versa.
Sure.
Vince McMahon said he's going to be taking a back seat, not going to be standing at the forefront of this XFL thing. This is all shit we're going to see. We're going to wait and see. Now, he said all the right things at the press conference. We're going to listen to the fans. We're going to listen to the players. We're going to listen to the coaches. We're going to listen to the experts. I'm not going to try to change, because remember, the XFL originally was trying to be Attitude Era football, Smash Mouth football. We're going to take out
awesome cheerleaders.
We're going to take away all the rules and let the defenses do whatever the fuck they want. Nobody could score any points. The games were awful because it was all defense, and the bad rules were leading to injuries. You had players getting injured with that stupid running into each other at the beginning of the game to determine who possessed the ball first. They would put the ball at the 50-yard line and have two guys run at each other from each end zone, and the first one to get the ball.
Do that shit though?
I don't know anything about rugby. So anyway, they're going to have to do a lot of things to make this work. They're going to have to make it an offense-friendly game so that games are fun and interesting.
Well, there's no punters or kickers.
Then it's funny. Can you have a game called football when you don't use
I don't
your
know if that's real or not.
No, it is. That's a part of it.
I thought it was a kayfabe news.
No, that's a thing. Man. They're not going to have punters or kickers. That's a thing.
Shit.
Why pay them?
So at least the thing I saw, maybe it was a kayfabe news thing. I mean,
well, it's just one of those things where it's like retro is in. Everyone's into that shit right now, but are they going to be into that in 2020, Vince McMahon? Come on.
Well, and how about Vince McMahon's going to be 74 in 2020?
Yeah, no wonder he's going to be in the back seat.
So I guess the only possible good thing to come out of this would be maybe Vince McMahon taking a reduced role at WWE. But that was one of the first things he addressed in the press conference, saying, "Oh no, nothing will change with my role at WWE." So I guess we'll see. I have zero faith in this thing. Bringing.
I have more faith in Impact right now.
Exactly. Let's talk about that.
That's tremendous analysis.
Yes.
Well, you're exactly right.
Hey,
All right.
I'll go into it with Kevin Smith-like optimism. Let's give it a shot.
Hey,
Fuck it. Let's have some fun.
I'll watch it once or twice. I'm a wrestling fan, and it's a Vince McMahon venture. I'll check it out. But the question is, can you get football fans to check it out? Is it appealing to football fans? Is it just going to be arena football on steroids? Pardon the pun. But that's the thing. That's the thing. You can loosen up the rules to make it more offense friendly, but at what point does it cease to be professional football and become the arena league or something like that? So you got to walk a fine line, and it has to still look like professional football at the end of the day.
To me, it's like Ice Cube opening up his own 3-on-3 street basketball league and tour. Oh wait, he did that. It wasn't that good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's gonna
you're not gonna compete with these guys.
It's gonna,
Nobody is.
It's gonna be a gimmick. Well, here's the thing. I don't think. Again, he's going to be running in the off season of the NFL. You got to know going in you're not going to compete on a level of the NFL, but can you be profitable? That's the question.
You need to go longer than a year too. You need to go longer than 2-3 years.
Well, that was the thing, is NBC canceled it after 1 year. So you got it. They don't even have the thing of it. Last time is he had Dick Ebersol, right? NBC was a partner going into the thing last time. This time he's just doing it on his own. So he's got to get TV on his own. Either that or find somewhere to.
I'm gonna announce the XFL Network for $9.99 a month.
Yeah. Good luck with all of that. So, all right. I think that's all I want to talk about.
Dude, you can watch retro XFL games.
all 10 of them.
Catalog will be there.
All 10 of them. That'd be great.
The cool will be behind the scenes of Jerry the King Lawler creeping around the cheerleader locker room.
God. It's just, I watched that XFL documentary earlier this year, and it just made it was just like for everything that they did wrong and the ratings would go down, they would do something wronger. They would make it worse. They would make it more pro wrestling. They would, okay, well, we'll go in the locker room. We'll take it backstage. We'll go behind the scenes. We'll have them cut promos. No, it's football. It's just be sports. Just be sports.
Just play hard.
You know what would be great for professional wrestling? Just make it like a sport. Just make it like a sport. You survive and thrive because you're the only act in town, and you're the number one. You won the war, and you're running away. You're running amok. You think you can make everything sports entertainment. It's fucking professional wrestling. Make it like a sport, damn it. But not too much because we love professional wrestling.
Hey, man,
I'm glad we got that in.
Raw did really well this week.
Yeah, no, Raw was good.
Even with the upgraded graphics.
In your face.
I didn't mind. The graphics didn't bother me.
I liked them, but it was too like 80s graphics, just like done in like a modern like technological like style. Like
to be honest, I don't think I would have even noticed if you hadn't tweeted about it before I
the
watched.
fucking white was just throwing me off.
It's all about blacks and reds with Taco. Don't throw any white at him. He gets frustrated.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's going to do it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about the show. BestProWrestlingPodcast.com. That's the wrong sounder. Let's go back to that again. Anyway, amateur hour this week. I'm telling you.
Gotta get that Suzuki laugh down.
Yeah.
I'm more of a VD kind of guy.
There's a sound bite. Let's
awesome.
Rate, review, subscribe, share the show. Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. At BPW Podcast on Twitter. Follow me at Tommy Stryker. Spell Stryker with a Y. Taco, where can people find you?
Ooh. Well, I'm not a VD guy. I'm clean, but you can follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
I'll throw it out there again, sltdwrestling.com.
Yes.
Check it out. We're on there. There's an awesome fantasy league. They've got
Predictions
league as well. It's a ton of fun. Check it out. And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBBWB. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it for the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Bye.
Peace.
Don't you dare be sour! Shush! Listen up, wrestling fans! Shut up! No, you fool! Knee to the face.
Weird question. Is Rockstar Spud a cruiserweight?
Babu.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not even hearing Taco.
Check.
Is everybody still good?
I can't hear shit.
Damn it. Taco.
I got nothing now.
See, and now I've got something. You get anything?
What?
All right.
Just go with it.
This. I can hear something. So that's all that matters.
There you go.
Yeah, we're good. I think we got it.
Duh, you're not talking to the microphone.
Oh, you figured that out, huh? See, I knew that I couldn't hear myself,
shit.
which is why I was trying to get you guys to be loud.
Can't hear Joe at all. It's like he's not even in front of the microphone. Oh, he's not.